punch! Javon went out on a Wims and delivered the funniest helmet punch or slap I've ever witnessed. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, real name, looked like he didn't even know what happened after the first punch. After the game, Johnson said, "That man punched like a female," which is easy to say when you have a helmet, and if you've never been beaten up by a girl. Wims was a man seeking vengeance for a stolen mouthguard, and since you can't place a value on dental health, I think Wims is justified in his actions. Welcome to the best and worst of Week 8 of NFL football here on That's Good Sports. I am your dumb football host, Brandon. Nobody has ever thought I was cool enough to do this kind of handshake perna. Who would have thought that this "Mom says it's my turn" looking kid would turn into the coolest quarterback in the AFC East? Speaking of cool stuff, Nyheim Hines did what Siegfried and Roy couldn't and got away from a lion and then put on a show. How the hell did he do that? Is he the brother of Simone Biles? Oh my God, there's so much football to cover from Week 8 today, and I'll hand out my BDP awards all in this episode. That's good sports. If you want to be kept abreast of football news and info, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Today's episode, though, sponsored by Manscaped.com/goodsports. And they are accelerating their body grooming dominance with the perfect package, which now includes the Weed Whacker to clean the shrubbery protruding from your nostrils and even your ears. The Weed Whacker is the only nose hair trimmer on the market with a cordless, rechargeable lithium-ion battery that lasts up to 90 minutes of use. Now, I'm no medical doctor, but if it takes you more than 90 minutes to trim your nose hair, you might have a serious medical condition, and I think you should seek help, like yesterday. Unlike your pubes, there's no hiding those nose hairs that get too long. And if your nose hairs are too long, how can you smell your pubes? So take 20% off of your nose hairs with the Weed Whacker and 20% off of the price of the performance package when you use my discount link below, manscaped.com/goodsports, which also includes free shipping. All right, best. Let's go back to Thursday Night Football, which boasted the butt tackle. Luckily, Mike Davis did not fumble. It also boasted the crawl, a terrifying but ineffective defense that can't keep up with the most mobile quarterback in the NFC South, Matt Ryan. And most importantly, we witnessed this poor referee falling on his arse and head on whatever slippery surface they lay down on NFL sidelines. I've always wondered why that shit is there. But every time something like this happens, we are reminded why. To see unnecessary pain happen to people who definitely deserve it. Worst, can we stop ejecting players for accidentally touching refs? If they can nearly be knocked out on the sideline by tarp, they can be fondled by a couple players every now and then. I get that they're mostly old as hell, but should we really be giving them that kind of absolute power? It's like giving me a monster truck and passing a law that allows me to crush any car on the freeway that I decide cuts me off. Assuming I can reach the pedals on a monster truck. Best, Joey Burrow beating the Titans and remaining on pace to set the rookie QB record for most passing yards in a season. Worst, Joe Burrow falling victim to posting the lamest joke we have. A social distancing joke. Worst, hi everybody! I guess Dr. Nick is now running the medical staff for all of the AFC West football teams. Everyone on the Broncos is hurt. Tyrod Taylor got his lung punctured, and now Trent Brown had air shot into his bloodstream during what should have been a simple IV. Air is almost always a good thing, unless it goes where your blood should be. Worst, I cursed my favorite QB in Lamar Jackson by giving linebacker Robert Spillane the Big Dick Player Award last week. Spillane picked Lamar off and got the scoring started for the Steelers. What I've learned is that my endorsement is more valuable than any presidential candidate. Worst, I'm glad Ronnie Stanley got paid when he did because he broke his ankle against the Steelers and is out for the rest of the season. Which, of course, for the Ravens, is whenever they play their first playoff game. Boom, roasted. That'll be a segment sponsored by my upcoming coffee company. Tease best. The Steelers have recorded 64 straight games with the sack, chasing the record of 69 straight games with the sack set by Warren Sapp and the John Lynch-led Bucks. No wonder Gronk signed there. They have a rich history of 69ing sacks that Gronk just could not resist. Worst, Minkah Fitzpatrick trying to kiss ravens during a pandemic. You really think we need bird flu on top of this shit, Minkah? Especially a moody-ass goth bird like a raven? If I'm fornicating a bird, it's gonna be a hot one like a swan or a peacock. I need to be swooned. Show me those pretty feathers, bird. Yeah, show them to me. Best! The Ravens made history with their loss. They outrushed the Steelers by 200 yards, outpassed them, and still lost. Welcome to Whose AFC North Is It Anyway? Where the yards don't matter. The turnovers do, though. Jackson had 4 on the day, 7 points the other way, and both of his fumbles came within the 10-yard line when the Ravens should have scored, including a Cam Newton-esque game-losing fumble. Best! Only Mahomes. There's literally no other QB on earth who could make this throw. The needle has officially been threaded, and to do it against a stout defense like the Jets makes it even more impressive. God, will you ever stop Mahomes? Worst, the Chiefs wasting a fake punt on the Jets. This is like organizing a fight between me and Mike Tyson in his prime, and then covering my ears in delicious garlic butter and rosemary. The Jets will never beat you, but they will try and injure as many of your players as possible during the game. That's a worst. It's the Greg Williams way. And it's also a page out of Tyreek Hill's playbook. If you can't beat him, beat him. Which is why it was really scary for fans when Tyreek Hill jumped into the stands.
So hide your kids, hide your wife.
Worst, people are impressed by this. Do people really not remember Brett Favre doing this basically every week? The media treats Mahomes like a Make-A-Wish kid. Wow, incredible pass, Patrick. Oh, you made a solid poo. This is just great play design, and the only player in the league who can't make this pitch is Melvin Gordon. I'm as impressed by Mahomes as anyone, don't get me wrong, just credit him for the appropriate plays. His final 2 touchdowns in this game, baller. Praising Mahomes for this is like saying the most cinematographic shot in porn is the close-up of the dude's asshole and flopping balls. I do credit Mahomes for giving a grown man a piggyback ride and not tearing his ACL, like I did in college. Best, I outsourced some bests and worsts to the community tab here on YouTube. Kerpaka Punch 29 pointed out that Mahomes threw for more touchdowns in one game than the Jets have scored all year. Row the Boat RTB had a best. Tommy Punt Jesus Townsend throwing for a first down, proving even a punter can throw on the Jets. And Andrew Jones best. Justin Zimmer coming off the practice squad to force the game-winning fumble for the Bills. Yeah, best watching the Patriots lose games because their quarterback screwed up with the game on the line. It may not be the quarterback I wanted to see fumbling away wins, but since it's the Patriots, I'll take it. Thank you, Andrew, because when I watched this live, I was like, who the hell just came in and made that play? Now we know. It was Mike Zimmer's son, Justin. I've been saying it for weeks. The Bills needed to find their run game, and they did against the Patriots with 190 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 by Allen, but more importantly, 2 by rookie Zach, shucking tacklers like corn moss, making this the first time I ever rooted for a moss during a Patriots game. Maybe except for the moss that was growing on Tom Brady last season. Best, Tua makes his NFL debut as a starter. According to Next Gen Stats, Tua's first touchdown pass is the most pass-interfered catch for any rookie quarterback to complete in their first game ever. Imagine what the hell he'll be able to do when he realizes he can throw it to an open receiver. Devontae Parker, you're a man. That's easily one of the best catches I've seen this season. Believe it or not, this was the very first punt return touchdown of the season for any team. Are punters getting too strong? Has youth soccer ruined the punt return? Johnny Hecker was a hero last week, so why didn't he save the touchdown here? Hard to say, but my fear now is the Dolphins are better than the Patriots, which means they'll probably get swept by New England this year instead of providing us the traditional upset. Best, kicking field goals in nasty Cleveland wind. To me, this kick is like 100% of America thinking 2020 would be just a regular year. And that wind is coronavirus swooping in and ruining everything for everyone. Best, Detroit. The Lions blocked a punt in this game and scored the first touchdown. They have scored first in every game this season. Is Matt Patricia finally turning into a good head coach? No. They ended up losing by 20. But first impressions are pretty important. Worst, Matthew Stafford threw his 22nd pick six, tying Eli Manning for 9th most all time. It's one of those stats that look bad, but you realize you have to be really good to hang around long enough to compile that many pick sixes. Worst, Dalvin Cook returning to score a nice touchdown, only to do a Lambo leap into an empty stadium. This is still very eerie, like when Will Smith hits those golf balls in an empty New York City in I Am Legend. I hope Packers fans tossed beer on their TV just to stay in character.
It's sad, actually.
Worst, the Packers' first 3 draft picks have contributed almost precisely nothing this season. A.J. Dillon, 97 rushing yards on the season, 21 in this game, and now a positive Rona test. Jordan Love, nothing. I'm not even sure he's the backup. Tight end Josiah DeGuara, 1 catch, 12 yards against the Vikings, and for the whole season. Worst, the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The NFL refused to flex this game, and in the first half, the players refused to flex any athletic skills. That said, best, the Cowboys defense. It looked the best it's looked all year, and it only took playing the Eagles. That's right, holding the opposing team to just 23 points in a loss is a win for the Cowboys defense. Best, Ben DiNucci got compared to Patrick Mahomes for this throw. Worst, realizing the Cowboys scored more points in Dak's last fourth quarter than in 3 full games without him. And now we are here for the prestige, the Big Dick Player Awards. And the quarterback to receive the BDP award is obviously going to the king of the AFC West, Padlock, Drew Lock. Oh, you want to call me a homer? It's my show. Fuck off. And Drew Lock is my quarterback, and he's also the big dick horsecock quarterback of the week. He couldn't have had a worse first 3 quarters, but he was suddenly struck by a stiff breeze and went from 6 to midnight, firing 3 touchdowns in the last 15 minutes in the Broncos' 21-point comeback to beat the Chargers. 1 to Albert O, another to Deshaun Hamilton, and the game winner to KJ Hamler. People were talking about benching Locke for Brett Rippon in this game. People were making plans for a new quarterback this offseason. And guess what? The horse-a-cock is locked and loaded once again. Now, back on the ground, Dalvin Cook went for over 200 scrimmage yards, becoming the first Viking with 4 touchdowns since Ahmad Rashad. First Viking to single-handedly dismantle a superior opponent since Ragnar Lothbrok. And that earned him his second Big Dick Ball Carrier award for this season. Most importantly, Cook made sure the Vikings could avoid their great weakness by only letting Kirk Cousins throw 14 passes. The Vikings hand the Packers their second loss in the last 3 games. And this week, how do I give the Big Dick Ball Catcher award to anybody but DK Metcalf? The guy nearly won the Big Dick Defender last week, and now he flips the switch on offense. Against the Seahawks' biggest rival, Metcalf went off for 12 grabs, 161 yards, and a pair of tutties. Before this week, DK's catch total was 24, so he added a third of his receptions in just one game. My only complaint is that DK Metcalf's parents did not fornicate 5 years earlier, because if they had, the Patriots would have one less Super Bowl victory. DK letting Russell Wilson throw completions on the goal line. And finally, the big dick defender goes to Dolphins linebacker Andrew Rip Van Ginkel for his fumble return touchdown in Miami's upset victory over the Rams. I really didn't know who Van Ginkel was before this play, but now I know. He's almost certainly a real person and most likely a descendant of one of the members of Hanson. Rip Van Ginkel, congratulations for beating Goff. You did it hard and you did us proud. Oh, thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Broncos recap coming up as soon as I can get it up. This evening, Monday evening. Subscribe here. Did I say that? Fudge.